we're talking spring cleaning after a breakup. Author and best known as the divorce coach, Sarah Davison, is joining us live in studio. Watching Great Day Colorado, I'm Chris Tomer.
And I'm Cheryl Huang in for Spencer Thomas.
Well, spring is definitely near. I really like spring. One of the best times for refreshing, spring cleaning, if you will. No matter what you're navigating in your life right now, our next guest can probably help you.
That's right. She's an author and best known as divorce coach. Sarah Davison has created revolutionary new ways to cope with breakups and divorce. Today she's here talking spring cleaning after divorce and cleaning out your closet and your life. She's joining us now with more. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about your message, right? You've taken your own experience of divorce and you're being so vulnerable and talking about it. You also have a best-selling book that you talk all about it. I believe you have it was like a 2-year divorce process. What's making you talk about it? It must be so hard.
Yeah, that's a great question, but I went through a really tough breakup, and when I was going through that, I was doing all the ugly crying on the bathroom floor, found out overnight pretty much that my husband no longer wanted to be married to me, and not only that, he had met someone else, he was madly in love, they started a family again within weeks of me finding out, so yeah, and she was 12 years younger, doesn't help, and also stunningly beautiful, that doesn't really help either, so definitely went through a lot of pain, a lot of ugly crying on the bathroom floor, and facing that panic and that devastation. But in that moment, I realized that I had a choice. Either this was going to be the grey cloud that followed me around forever, or I could do something about that. So in that moment, I decided, you know what, I'm going to step up. I'm going to combine my coaching skills. I was coaching already for about 15 years at that point, and then create something that would help other people. And I think anyone that's going through any kind of pain, when you're in that moment, you can turn that pain into power. It doesn't have to define your life. It's what you do about it that makes you the person you are.
Sarah, how did you pull yourself out of those dark moments?
Yeah, I mean, my son was 1 when my husband left me. So when you've got a 1-year-old, you kind of have to get out of bed. And as parents, we do more for our kids than we ever do for ourselves, I think. But also knowing that working through this program, creating different tools and techniques to get me through was my focus. I knew that I didn't want this to be the determinant for my life. So, you know, getting outside is a really good way of getting out and connecting with nature. Having good people around you is really important, absolutely.
That's awesome. And you have a book actually chronicling your journey. It's called Uncoupling: How to Survive and Thrive After Breakup and Divorce. Not only do you chronicle your journey, but you also give tips for your readers.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's spring, as you were talking about, yeah? So again, it's a great time to spring clean your ex out of your life. You know, one of the things that keeps us really stuck is our environment. So one of the tips in my book is to look at your environment where you are, because quite often people are feeling heartbreak or stuck. When they walk around their home, there's little things that trigger that sadness or those negative emotions. Maybe it's, say, the mug you have your morning coffee in that your ex bought you for your birthday, or a t-shirt that you might be wearing that you bought on a trip. So this is where we can put those things in a box, put them out the way. Don't trash them, don't burn them at this stage, because in a couple of months' time you might want to get them back out again.
Good tip.
But just remove the things in your home that really upset you. That's one of my tips.
That's the cleaning process.
Yeah, it detoxes them out of your home. Also, we need to detox them out of our mind. So detoxing your emotional closet as well. So not talking about them all the time. You know, when you go through a breakup, it's really common for us to tell our story to anyone that will listen, not just friends and family. Sometimes the hairdresser or so when we repeat that, we relive it. So actually not telling your story all the time will also help.
Yeah, thank you so much for being so vulnerable. I know you have a podcast as well where you're super vulnerable, and thank you so much for being vulnerable and talking about it, because people need to hear this stuff.
Yeah, I hope that inspires others. They're not alone. That's the message, and there is help and support out there.
Thank you. Well, to learn more about Sarah or to purchase her book, please visit her online at sarahdavidson.com. You can also follow her on Instagram or Facebook.